Have you ever looked up at the sky and wondered how thousands of planes zoom around without smashing into each other, especially when many of them fly through the exact same airspace every single day? The solution is pretty clever, so let's find out. Air traffic control works like a giant, worldwide choreography system that prevents chaos before it even starts. At major airports, controllers guide every plane from the moment it starts moving until it leaves the airport's airspace. Think of the airport as divided into invisible blocks that only one aircraft can occupy at a time. This grid helps controllers keep track of who's going where while preventing planes from getting too close on the ground. Once a plane is cleared for takeoff, controllers make sure the next plane waits until the previous one has climbed far enough away. This spacing avoids wake turbulence, which can knock another plane around like a boat in rough water. Wake turbulence is basically swirling air torn up by giant wings. If another aircraft hits that swirl too soon, it can roll dangerously, so timing between departures is carefully calculated. As planes climb, controllers assign specific headings and altitudes, so paths never cross by accident. That's why one plane might turn left after takeoff, while another turns right, even if they're going to similar destinations. And altitude rules are super strict. Aircraft going east usually fly at odd-numbered altitudes, while westbound aircraft use even-numbered ones. This layered system separates aircraft even when they're on opposite routes. High above the ground, controllers use radar, satellite tracking, and computer systems to follow every plane. They can predict where each aircraft will be minutes into the future, which gives them time to adjust spacing if anything gets too close. These prediction tools draw ghost planes, showing where an aircraft is heading, letting controllers see potential conflicts before they appear. It's like having a GPS that warns of future traffic jams in the sky. Even when skies look empty, the sky is packed with invisible highways known as airways. They're as organized as the roads on a map, and planes follow them just as cars follow lanes. Airways connect navigation points called waypoints, and planes hop from one to the next. Keeping everyone on predictable routes makes it easier to maintain separation and avoid conflicts. Pilots also help maintain separation using onboard flight computers. These systems monitor altitude, direction, and airspeed automatically, and warn pilots when they're drifting too close to another aircraft's assigned space. Every aircraft has an invisible protective bubble around it, both horizontally and vertically. Controllers and onboard systems make sure no other plane pierces that bubble. Cruising altitude is where the real magic happens. Here, speed, direction, and altitude are locked in, creating a clean, predictable flow of traffic that barely needs adjusting. The vertical separation at cruising altitude is usually 1,000 feet between aircraft. That margin alone is enough to eliminate most collision risks during long stretches of flight. But just in case, every large aircraft carries a backup system called TCAS, Traffic Collision Avoidance System. If two planes get too close, TCAS tells the pilots what to do instantly. One plane might get the command to climb and the other to descend. The instructions are opposite but perfectly coordinated, so the planes separate safely in seconds. As a plane approaches its destination, it enters another tightly controlled zone. Controllers sequence arrivals like beads on a string, placing each plane at the perfect distance to maintain safety and smooth landing flow. Planes often join a funnel-shaped pattern called the approach path. This funnels aircraft from wider routes into a single exact line that leads directly to the runway. During landing, spacing is just as strict as takeoff. A plane must fully clear the runway before the next one is allowed to touch down, preventing overshoots or runway collisions. Despite how busy the skies look, the entire system is planned down to the minute. Every route, altitude, and timing detail is calculated so thousands of aircraft can move together safely. And with modern technology, aircraft today are safer and more trackable than at any other time in aviation history. The combination of human expertise and automated systems makes collisions incredibly unlikely. Tell us what you are kinda curious about, something that you are curious about but not enough to look it up, and we will investigate it for you. Subscribe to Kinda Curious so you can become kinda smarter.